Hello, I'm Winnie Yu from Tion's Fine Teas. Today we're continuing with our video series on how to steep tea the expert way, Gong Fu style. Now again, Gong Fu style means experience, it means skill set, it means expertise, having the right equipment, and most importantly, having great tea leaves and understanding how to steep the teas. Now, a skill set in steeping tea is important. Unlike other beverages where you can just uncork a bottle, tea requires a little bit of skill set, just like cooking, but it's not too difficult if you understand the teas. Today we're going to use a gaiwan. Okay, this is a relatively large body shape, a kind of a shallow bowl with a lid and a saucer. We have a porcelain decanter for hot water. You can use a thermos, and again, small tasting cups are important in Gong Fu style tea making and tea tasting, and a decanter for your teas and a filter if you like. Now the reason for choosing a relatively shallow type of gaiwan as opposed to a tall one like this one here is so that the lid can actually reach the bottom when I want to stir the tea leaves. Okay, so that's why I chose that. The leaves we're going to be steeping today is one of my favorite oolongs called Phoenix Mountain Single Grove Honey Fragrance Oolong. I know it's a really long name, and sometimes we just call it the Phoenix Honey Tea. Now, these are very unusual tea leaves. They are harvested from tree type Camellia sinensis, from very old trees, usually 50 years plus. Some of the trees are a couple hundred years old. The oldest one is over 600 years old. The leaves are hand harvested and usually made in a style that's very ancient, in a large twist type, baked for over charcoal fire for a considerable amount of time. Okay, so understanding how these leaves function will help us steep it. Very few of us are very good at steeping this tea, and this tea gets very bitter for a lot of us, but actually it's extremely smooth and sweet. So we just have to understand how to steep it to get everything out of this really wonderful oolong. Now, what we want to do is, this is a rather unconventional type of tea. What we want to do is make sure that everything is preheated to the right temperature. We're going to start with very hot water, boiling or 205 at the lowest. I want to make sure that our gaiwan is very hot. Okay, that's one of the keys to this tea, is that the gaiwan is very, very hot. Now, without wasting water, we want to just heat up our teacups with the discarded water, and then we want to put the tea leaves in. Okay, using one of these scoops. The ratio of tea leaves is usually about 3 grams to about 6 ounces of hot water. Now use filtered spring water if possible. Now instead of rinsing the leaves, like a lot of oolongs, what you want to do is just let the steam inside your gaiwan heat the leaves up. And what we do is this, what we call the waking up of the tea leaves process. And by keeping our forefinger on the top of the lid, we keep it close and we shake the gaiwan. Okay, allowing the steam to penetrate the leaves. We examine the fragrance. It should smell like cooked honey. Now these tea leaves are very delicate, even though they're oolongs that have been baked. You do not want to steep them for a very long time, and in fact you don't even want to rinse it, because the first few seconds of the rinse will already impart too much flavor. We want to use, again, very hot water of about 205 degrees. Believe it or not, the steeping time in this is approximately 15 seconds. And you want to agitate very quickly. Use your lid to sort of roll the leaves. And you can count in your head, 15, maybe 20 seconds, depending. And you're ready to steep. Create a slit. Generally, you could pour into your decanter. But in our case here, I'm just going to pour very quickly onto my cups evenly. Leaves here will re-steep for 20 more times. And it's like peeling an onion. You peel layer by layer and you examine each flavor. I'm detecting a very light, milky fragrance along with my honey. It's like milk and honey with a very nice citrus finish. Enjoy.